This simple modification will make your Hexpeak lighter, warmer, more versatile, and best of all, it'll make it even better in bad weather conditions. Now I won't waste your time. The mod is actually a lightweight 4-season inner, and it took a lot of research to find one that would do the job properly, but I'm confident that this is a solution I've been looking for, and hopefully it will help you too. There you go, the Hexpeak. Now let's go inside and have a look. You can see it's a decent fit. We've got 5 tie-outs with the rear 3 matching up with the Hexpeak's points. You can see the front points of the inner are a bit further forward than the auxiliary points in the Hexpeak, so I've had to perform a bit of jiggery pokery to get them to work properly. Now each of the tie-outs has had to be modified a wee bit, so let's have a look at that. At the rear, I've gone for a line lock system with extended cord. So basically, I've taken a line lock off of the Hexpeak, attached it to the elastic, and the cord runs from that to an O-ring down here, and then back to the fixed loop down here. I use a little S-biner to connect into the existing loop in the Hexpeak, and then I've got a bit of bungee that goes out to the peg. By hooking into the loop, that gives me a sort of fixed length, and that can be tightened and adjusted with the line lock here. For the middle points, it's much the same. Elastic with the hook going into the loop here, line lock here, and then it goes to elastic with an O-ring there. And at the front, things are a bit more elaborate. So in the fixed loop, I've used an S-biner and connected into a mini guy line, which has got a clam cleat. That gives me the adjustability that I need because it sits away from that peg over there. So it just means I have to carry 2 extra pegs and I can tighten it to suit. For the tilt section, I've got the hook into an O-ring and a bit of bungee cord. At the front of this inner, it also comes with a little rivet tab. Now that's supposed to go under your trekking pole, but that won't work with my pole mushroom here. So all I've done is I've used an adjustable cable tie, which can be taken on and off, and that allows me to align everything when the whole tent's going together, and it'll also help it in the wind. For the apex point, I use the same sort of guy line as before, just with a clam cleat, and it goes into this hook, which then goes up to the top into a wee loop. So now you can see the zip's exactly where I want it, and down the sides you've got plenty of space for ventilation, and there's plenty of separation to avoid contact with potentially wet or frozen fly sheet. As a 4-season inner, this has got solid fabric all the way up to the top with a single ventilation port here that marries up with the Hexpeaks. It's also got a pretty standard bathtub floor. It's also got a T-zip opening, and there's a couple of reasons why I chose that. The first reason is accessibility. Now the Hexpeak opens up on the left-hand side with the stock inner matching. Most third-party inners I've found open up on the right-hand side, which is much more of a faff. The T-zip eliminates this issue, so no matter how the tent is configured on the inside, access and escape is very easy. The second reason is living room. Now one of the reasons I love this Hexpeak so much is that I can close the door and I've got plenty of space. And normally, if I'm sitting inside it or performing tasks or whatever, I'll just drop the inner down. But by simply opening up the T-zip, it means I don't have to open it up. Given it a 4-season inner suggests camping in the depths of winter or in challenging weather conditions, dropping it down while sub-zero winds are blowing a hoolie or while spindrift is being forced under the eaves could be problematic. Whereas, if I have the inner set up against the wind and simply open up the T-zip, I have all of the space whilst protecting my back and my equipment. Inside, we've got plenty of room for the sleeping gear, and although that apex is shorter than the original inner, there's still plenty of room for Coops the dog to snuggle in. I've also found that this lighter fabric kind of makes things feel a wee bit more open, though the fly sheet is dark enough that in the morning, if the sun's shining quite bright, you can still get a lie in. In terms of length, I'm about 5'10" and I'm comfortable in here. Still got a wee bit of headroom, still got a wee bit of footroom, but I wouldn't recommend it if you're above 6 foot. The third and final reason is ventilation and insulation. As you can probably guess, with this inner opened right up, there's going to be no issues with airflow. This means that this lightweight inner can be used in the summer without things getting too hot or sticky. The pure adjustability will be fantastic. Likewise, in colder weather, this full fabric will cut out the chill from the wind and protect us from potential drafts when the temperature goes.
I will say this, on the stock 1.5 person inner 3-season, there's far too much of a breeze coming in here for use in colder weather. The whole point of the tent is to shelter you from the wind, and with these 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts, whatever the hell they are, the wind's actually blowing through the mesh here. and I can feel it in my face, and that's not good for the winter when the wind chill is like -10 and all that. So it's going to be 4-season inner.
Now I claimed at the beginning of this video that this inner will actually make the Hexpeak lighter, which seems crazy considering it is a 4-season inner, but the stock 3-season inner comes in at 684 grams, and this thing comes in at only 369 grams, which is a weight saving of 315 grams. I've also recently replaced my 9-inch nails, which come in at 36 grams, and I've replaced them with carbon fibre stakes, which are also about 9-inch, and they only weigh 8 grams each. My Hexpeak setup now weighs a total of 1.24 kilograms instead of 1.7 kilograms, and yet it is more capable than ever before. It also packs down smaller too, which is amazing. Hello, Coopy. Now, my only concern with this inner is that the fabric is quoted to be 20D with a hydrostatic head of 5,000. That's actually more than the stock inner, but it's a thicker fabric in the stock inner, so I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that just in case there's any leakages in. I hope there isn't, but we'll see. All in all though, the strength to weight ratio of this tent is absolutely incredible. So if you would like an example of how well this thing works in bad weather, check out this video, and it's time for me to go and grab a coffee. Oh, it's coming down like stair rods out there. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining really heavily. Anyway, I found this inner on AliExpress under the name T-Door Plus 4-season inner, and it cost me £54. Express shipping to the UK from mainland China was 10 quid via FedEx, and it came within 7 days. I didn't have to pay any import fees, and the tracking was excellent, so I would definitely recommend that service if you're going to go for it. Now, believe it or not, I actually ordered these pegs from England on the exact same day I ordered the inner, and these arrived 3 days later thanks to the postal strikes, so go figure. Now, in terms of branding, this tent is sold as a 4-season inner for a Lanshan 1 tent manufactured by 3FUL Gear. I know the inner itself doesn't come with any branding, the stuff sack has a logo. Price wise, the full Hexpeak V4A setup is £195 before shipping, but you can order the fly sheet for £135 and then this 4-season inner for £55, and that ends up being £190 before shipping. So if you're considering this setup and you don't already have a Hexpeak, it'd be worth all of the extra effort for the benefits that this thing brings to the table. If you found this video useful, remember to hit the like button or leave a comment below, as that helps the channel grow and for all this information to get to the right people. Take it easy out there, and I'll see you on another adventure.